Hey everybody. So every now and then a game really throws me for a loop, and I have to say I wasn't expecting Wormholes to do that. But I brought this game back from Gen Con. It plays 1 to 5 in 45 minutes, and it just has a lot of really cool mechanisms. And as simple as the concept of wormholes is, creating wormholes so you can jump through and teleport throughout space, and the fact that this is a pick up and deliver game, all seems pretty simple and straightforward, but the execution of this is anything but, and hopefully my explanation of the game will explain to you why wormholes might have broken my brain. In Wormholes, players are captains that pilot around this designed space with planets and nebulas and rings and really cool stuff, and they are going to make wormholes along the way. And when a player has deposited matching wormholes, essentially the second one on a later turn, that wormhole becomes active, and you can now go from that number to the matching number for free. And not just that, other players can do it too, which is the key to this game. You are not just setting up wormholes that you want to use in the game, you are setting them up so that other players will want to use them because they are so advantageous, they are so well placed. And when another player uses your wormhole, you get a victory point. So you can really rack up those victory points for just being better at placing your wormholes in good spots that other players really want to use, because you'll want to use it because you'll get a better payout even though they get a payout as well. And so it's well worth your while to use somebody else's established wormhole. Now, every player gets 5 of these that they can make throughout the game, and the rules state, and I'm going to back up, when in doubt, place a wormhole. Just do it. It's really, really smart. Now, what are you actually doing on your turn? You are using up your actions. You have 3 action tokens that allow you to move 1 space each token flipped. You can also pick up passengers and take them to planets. And these planets are really cool. The artwork is fantastic here. And there are 8 total planets. So when you take a passenger out to a planet, you really want to establish a wormhole nearby, which is adjacent to that planet's space, if you're the first one to get there, because you will take a victory point chip that is in a stack that goes from 1 point in the beginning to 3 points at the end. So if you're getting those established locations nearby planets, towards the end, you're going to get more points for it. But it's really a race to get to those chips, because once you get through first contact at 8 planets in this map, you are going to trigger the end of the game for everybody. So that means there are 3 rounds after that last contact is made, that final 8th planet has been reached by any player. So when you go there, you can drop off any number of passengers by placing them into your tableau area. And each passenger is worth 2 points. And if you exceed 5 planets of unique passengers, meaning you get your 6th, 7th, and 8th of all the planets represented, you will receive a bonus of 5 victory points each time you do your 6th one is 5 more points, your 7th one that's different is 5, and then your 8th is also 5 points on top of that. So really stretching out and getting a variety, not just focusing on 5 planets, which you can totally do that, but it gives you that variety bonus. And there's again also that run for getting the victory points for establishing that kind of port, that base, your wormhole next to one of the planets that hasn't been established yet. It's just really streamlined. It seems so simple. There are some fantastic map features that allow you to navigate and move a little bit easier, like using an orbit of a particular planet that allows you to move on that orbit for 1 point to any other space on that orbit. Pretty cool, right? You can also be on the same space as another player, which means there's a lot of flexibility in using wormholes, using those orbits, being up next to planets that you want to deliver passengers to. There's also things called nebula, and nebula let you move into them, and then you can essentially kind of like scoot around inside of the nebula for free. You just kind of go up and down and around and wherever you want, which is awesome. There are wild wormholes, and the wild wormholes let you essentially connect to any number, and you go in the wormhole and it has the number matching, so it's 4, and you can go to any other 4 that's your color or an opponent's color, of course paying the cost if you're using your opponent's wormhole. But the wild wormholes, really, really fascinating and cool. Black holes, there's just fantastic features here that are just super, super thematic. So now to the why does this game break my brain? Okay, so here's what's happening. I think I want to do pick up and deliver, but when you get out in outer space, kind of like in any train game really, except for the fact that you have a route that you can travel on because you built literally track every space of the way. But in train games, pick up and delivers, you're going someplace and then you have to get back. You have to get to a place where you can maybe grab some more passengers and get the passengers that you need, which is essentially back at your home base. It's back where you started. There's an opportunity to collect passengers that are being drawn at other planets by players who want to collect passengers up to their hand of 4. And if they draw the planet, the person from the planet that they're at, they have to discard them back to the open market display back at home base. And so you're never allowed to pick up and then deliver that person you just drew. So no luck of the draw. You can't just draw and go, aha, look at this, and place it down, which I think is a really good rule. But it's getting back to places and it's going from where you are to where you need to be. Because if you simply go 1, 2, 3 spaces and just move hexes one at a time, that's not efficient enough. You need to utilize the wormholes. You need to utilize a photon cannon. The photon cannon was huge in my game of wormholes. It was very near to where we began. So you walk out and you shoot and you essentially can go in a straight line, the flat side of the hexes, as far as you want, going past things that you normally can't move through. And it essentially shoots you out to the far space. But then once you're out there, you kind of have to make your way back. And so in this game, it was just me trying to figure out how can I navigate this space in the most efficient way, because I'm not laying track. I'm hopping from place to place to place, and I just couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure out, and I wasn't necessarily making my wormhole connections ones that other players felt like they needed to use either. And so I think what I need to do is just really continue to play and try and share this with people so I can figure out like what's going on in this game and how can I plan for future rounds, even though I don't know what passengers I'm going to have. I don't know what passengers other people are going to have, but I'm going to look at the map layout and say, where would a good wormhole be? Like, where would if I can get to the best spot, that's it. Like, I need to get there. And so I think I need to play the wormhole game and then worry about the pick up and deliver, and then getting to that bonus when you place your wormhole next to a planet. That's the very first time that someone does it to get the bonus point. Because I don't think that I was making my best moves. But the cool thing about this is that when you play with other people, and this is how it works anytime I play games with my friends, we always will offer a suggestion if we see maybe someone's not doing the best thing. Like if they're saying, I'm going to go this way and move 1, 2, 3, and we say, well, you could do 1, 2 with this, like you can use a wormhole and jump here, and it gets you where you want to be, and you have 1 move left. We would tell each other. And that's what happened in this game. And I think to some degree at the end, when there are so many wormholes, and you've got your 3 moves to do, and you want to do something, for some reason I just wasn't able to puzzle it. I think there were just like too many options, and it was kind of just spaced out, and I feel like I was maybe breaking my brain a little bit too much. But fortunately I had friends, and they helped me do what I needed to do at the end, which was really nice. It's so interesting though, and I'm going to say it's a puzzle. It's a puzzle feature that's just really interesting. And I love that there are two different sides to the tiles that you fit together. And so they suggest playing on one side or the other. And there are more advanced features that you play on the secondary side than on the kind of starting board side. But you need to learn it first, figure out what everything is, and then flip it over and take a look at that other stuff. Because I think this has the potential for replayability easily, right? Because it's just cards and it's your wormhole tokens, which are really nice. I like what they did with the wormholes. It's a little bit of an upgrade, it's a little bit of flair, but it makes me feel like it's special. I like the wormhole tokens. And it's the tiles. And so there's just the tiles with the hexes on them. And then your cards that you play with, you draw passengers and then, of course, deliver them to planets that they need to go to, and your wormholes that you place out. I mean, that's really it. There are not many components in this game. You do have victory point chits and you've got your action tokens, but they're all really small and those are just made of cardboard. But I think that it's just, again, super replayable with the way that everything fits together, with the draw of your passengers, and with where you're placing out your wormholes every time. It's a new puzzle, it's a new challenge, and I think it's really smart. I think it's a clever game. Maybe I'm not clever enough for it, but I am going to continue trying and continue sharing this because I think it's something special, and I think the hubbub around wormholes is rightly so. I think it's a really strong, like, there's always that, I want a 45-minute game. I want a 45-minute strategy competitive game. This fits it. So if you're looking for that, absolutely jump into this. There is a solo variant, so it plays 1 to 5. So if you want just an individual puzzle challenge, it's absolutely in here for you. I have not yet played that. Perhaps that's what I need to do just to figure it out. Just sit down by myself and play that solo game. But this is something cool, and I'm glad that it kind of broke my brain. I'm glad that it challenged me, because sometimes I figure something out and I go, oh, okay, I figured it out and I'm done. But when things kind of make me take a step back, they make me kind of reevaluate my choices, not my life choices, but choices in the game and the strategy and the techniques that I employ. I like that. I like when a game gives me just a little bit of something. And I also saw that the players I was playing with had a good time too. They really enjoyed that puzzly feature. So thanks again for joining me for Wormholes, and hopefully I will unbreak my brain after I figure out how to navigate the reaches of outer space in Wormholes. All right, everybody. I'll see you next time.